once you get them, hold on to them. There's a couple different things you need to know. How do you get it out of that computer? Don't have a home printer? No problem. And welcome back to Sewing from Scratch. I am Kate and this is where I teach you everything I know about sewing and we learn more together along the way. In today's video, I am sharing how to buy a sewing pattern in 2021. Many of you might have started sewing last year during the pandemic and now you're wanting to elevate your skills, maybe buy some patterns, looking to branch out. You want to maybe buy them from the comfort of your own home. You don't want to go into the fabric store. You don't know how to buy a pattern, or maybe you've sewed many years ago and you're looking to get back into sewing garments but you don't know how to find a pattern. Again, you don't want to go to the fabric store. How do you buy a pattern? Let me tell you, there are so many pattern brands. So many pattern brands. You can probably spend an entire day writing down brands that you find and still not find them all. So how do we know what to buy? How do we find these in the first place? And where do we choose to spend our money? We're going to talk about all of that in today's video. So you could go into the fabric store, flip through those big catalogs, look at every single design until you come across something you want, and then see if it comes in your size and make sure they have it in the store. Go find it, take it up to the till, pay for it, go home and sew it. That's an option. Or you can join the digital age and find sewing patterns online and then immediately download them, project them onto your fabric, and make your garments. Or don't have a projector? No problem. Print them out at home. Print them on regular computer paper, put them together and sew your garment. Don't have a home printer? No problem. There's copy shop files that you can send out to certain print shops, Staples even. They'll print them, bring them home, sew your garment. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about how to find these patterns to begin with. So if you are somebody who grew up sewing, well, really up until the last 10, 15, 20 years, you are probably used to commercial patterns. I'm talking about Simplicity, Quick Sew, Burda, Butterick, McCall's, Vogue, etc. That's probably what you're used to. You got a pattern envelope, opened it up, you made your pattern. This is the only way there was to get a pattern. That's still an option. Like I said, you can go to the fabric store and get that. You can also order them online. There is a site called Something Delightful, I believe it is. I have not ordered from it personally. Whitney at Tomcat Stitchery mentioned it the other day in one of her videos, and that's where I heard about it. And they carry, I believe it is Vogue, McCall's, and Butterick. The one company now owns Vogue, McCall's, Butterick, and Simplicity. I believe that is accurate, but Simplicity is still kind of its own thing. For example, one of the differences is that we cannot get Simplicity patterns here in Canada anywhere in stores or anything like that. We have to order online from the US or the UK. So you can definitely order paper patterns that way. I believe Burda is only online now. I think they only have PDF. So you can easily purchase Burda files online and then download them and make them up. There are also independent designers. Again, if you haven't been in the sewing game for a long time, then you might not be super familiar. There were independent designers from way back, but they are more prevalent now, I think, and I think many home sewists prefer, maybe I shouldn't say prefer, but many home sewists do use indie patterns. And again, there is just a plethora of options to choose from. And you might not know how to find them. I like using the Fold Line and Minerva.com. Those are both two really good resources to find independent patterns. Minerva, they ship them, so they are paper patterns that they ship to you, and then the Fold Line has both. I also have a video on how to find new patterns, so I will link that down below as well. So now we're gonna just talk about PDFs and what happens when you purchase that file on the computer. How do you get it out of that computer? How do you make your garment from it? There's a couple different options. Like I said, you can print it at home. They all, I believe, come with print at home files, and this will be either A4 or letter format. You print them out on your home printer and then you tape or glue them together. I do have a video all about that as well, so I will link that down below. Another option is to get them printed at a print shop. I personally prefer Sew YYC based in Calgary. I will link a video I have with them down below as well. Or if you don't want to do either of those options, you want to be, reduce your paper waste. Actually, I don't think any of you know this yet, unless you follow me on Instagram and caught this a long time ago. I have a projector. I haven't yet to put it up. My husband has yet to put it up. We're waiting on a cord. But what this does is you mount it on your ceiling, or there's ones you can mount on the wall, and then it projects the image right onto your fabric. So you don't need paper, you don't need really anything other than your fabric. I will put mine on my cutting mat so I can still use my rotary cutter, but lots of people just use scissors. And then it projects the image right there and you just cut it out. So you don't need to fiddle with weights or paper or anything like that. Super, super eco-friendly and reduces the paper waste in the sewing room, which I'm sure if you are familiar with PDF patterns, you know that they do cause a lot of paper waste. So I am very excited about this. I've been excited about this for way too long. So that is another option. All right, so you found a couple sites on how to find patterns, but how do you know which ones to get? There's a couple different things you need to know. First off is size. You wanna be filtering by size because obviously there's no point in looking at something that isn't in your size unless you really wanna grade, but there's so many patterns that I really don't think that is necessary. So if you can filter by size, definitely do that. As you start to become more familiar with different companies and things like that, you will know which ones cater to which size ranges. If you are in the higher size range, Cashmerette is one that is really good for that, for like women's sewing patterns. You'll also find that there are sewing patterns that don't cater to an inclusive size range and are more on the lower end. You're just gonna find that through your own experience. You're also gonna find what fits your body better, and this is just based on the way that patterns are drafted, based on the body model that company uses. Something might be drafted for somebody with broader shoulders and you might have narrower shoulders, so the things just never seem to fit you right, even though they're the right size technically. Likely that pattern company is all gonna be like that. So it does take some trial and error to find pattern companies that work for you. Once you get them, hold on to them because it's a gem, let me tell you. You also want to be looking at the styles of the garments. So you can be scrolling through and the pictures you're seeing are really pretty and you're tempted to just like click right now and buy them. But I encourage you to take a step back, look really closely at all the pictures, try and find all the details you can. And most importantly, look at the line drawings. I do not buy patterns if they do not have line drawings. That's where I find all the details like zippers, back closures, darts, pin tucks, gathering. Any special features that can get lost in fabric are going to show up on a line drawing. And read the descriptions, because a lot of times the descriptions will tell you everything about that as well. As you're looking at patterns, also keep in mind your skill level or your comfort level. So if you are a beginner sewist, I would say you can probably try something that is beginner up to intermediate. If it's, as long as it's something you feel you can handle and you've maybe already done some of the skills that are in that garment. Also, I'm all for pushing yourself if you are into that. But if you know yourself and you know that you're just gonna get frustrated when it doesn't work out, then I would say just maybe build some more skills before you try that pattern. But one of my favorite things about being a beginner sewist that I miss from being a beginner sewist is the blind confidence, I guess. You didn't have the fear of sewing certain things because you didn't know it was an advanced technique. You just went for it because everything to you was advanced, and I think that's really great. And I think it's just kind of you don't know any better, and it's like it reminds me of kind of the innocence of a child, if that makes sense. So consider your skill level and what you're comfortable with or what you want to build into. And of course you want to be considering the type of the garment too, the style. Does it work with your body shape? Is that something you really love to wear? Or is it just something you see online and you think, oh, that's so cool and I should wear stuff like that? but are you really going to? I don't want you to make something that's just gonna hang in your closet and never get worn. We wanna be investing in our wardrobe and choosing garments that are going to last us forever. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you and kind of explained the world of online sewing patterns. Again, I do have a couple more videos if you're looking for further information, and I will link those down in the description box for you to check out. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if the content was useful to you, and if you did like what you saw here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can catch future videos. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye!